I wanted to make this video because in the last couple days I've had a couple messages. Harvey being able to quit his job after a couple of months doing this. Catherine went from unemployed to now 12k in 3 months. And people like Riley making their first amount of money in just a couple of weeks. So what is this skill? What are people doing to be able to completely change their lives? Ordinary people, just like you watching this video, what are they doing? Let me explain it. Let me explain what it is, how you can do it yourself, and how you can get started. So, the big question that everyone asks, what is high ticket remote sales? To put it simply, all you're doing is either hopping on Zoom calls and selling someone else's services, or you're typing DMs on your phone, or dialing people to book them onto the calls where a closer then sells them. That's it. That's how simple high ticket remote sales is. And like I say, it's the exact thing that has allowed the people I mentioned at the start. I can show you a bunch of results. Just ordinary people are completely changing their lives doing it. So now you kind of know what it is. I'm going to break it down a little bit more. I want to run through exactly how you, as like I say, an ordinary person, you may be in your 9 to 5, you may be in school, you may be in college, whatever you're doing. I'm going to show you how you can take this opportunity by the grips of it, because it is one of the best, and it's, like I say, changing people's lives. Let me grab my stuff and let me run you through it. Now, I know it may sound too simple to a lot of you guys, and I understand where skepticism could come in. You've been sold these models and, drop shipping, SMA, and everything like that by the next guru who has no idea what they're doing, but also they're trying to get you into a skill and an industry that takes years to master. Now, personally, I first got sucked into the agency SMA space. Now, we have a successful agency. Why? Because it's taken 3 years of my life to go and do that. Do you think you should go and do the same? If you don't have the time, if you don't have the skill set, do you have 3 years to waste to build a successful agency like I did? No, a lot of people don't. And that's why a lot of people fail when they do this, is because they don't have the time, they don't have the skills, they don't have the expertise, so they end up just failing. And, you shouldn't ever be constricted by that, which is why I love high ticket remote sales. So, like I say, you're either sending DMs from your phone, booking people onto calls, selling someone else's services. So for example, like myself, I'm an agency owner. I don't have time to book people on calls. I don't have time to respond to leads that are interested. I don't have time to hop on calls. So what do? We hire high ticket remote sales reps. So you can already see how many and how big the industry could possibly be by doing this. We hire them, like yourself, if you do potentially get into this, and like I said, I'll explain it a little bit further. You sell the service. You either, as a closer, hop on, sell the service, get 10% commission. So I was just filming a result earlier. Catherine, like I said, 3 months ago, unemployed, no idea how to sell, no idea how to do any of this. We brought her on board, we trained her, and now she just did a 24k deal, which she gets 10% of. Now you may think, 10% of a 24k deal, blah, blah, blah. But what did she have to actually do? Turn up to a 1-hour meeting? She didn't have to deliver. She didn't have to market. She doesn't have to set up the automation, set up the systems, do any of that. She turned up for an hour and made 2.4k in commission, right? All these other guys, Harvey, he just closed a 3.6k deal. It took him an hour, right? Because the agency owner, the coach, the service provider, and like I always say, there's this graph. You should check out my Instagram, Harvey Warner. I'll link it down below as well. And click on the start here story and go like 4 or 5 in. There's a story that I post where it shows the gap between agency owners and coaches. The graph is up here compared to the amount of remote sales reps there are, which is all the way down here. Which means there is a massive, massive demand, As I have a content, I have a personal brand, and I, also help remote sales reps. I get messages all day, and again, you can click on the story next to it, sales roles. On there is hundreds of people messaging me, right? Asking me, hey, do you have any setters? Hey, do you have any closers? Because it's the most in-demand skill. People are trying to sell you copywriting. People are trying to sell you this stuff that's going to get taken over by AI at some point. This can't be. The day that someone buys something from a robot, then we're all cooked anyway. Like, there's no point us being here. So yeah, remote high ticket sales, that's basically what you're doing. You're partnering with an agency owner or a coach, someone that doesn't have time and maybe doesn't even have the skills to go and sell their own service or book the calls or do anything like that. So let's quickly do a day in the life. Let me run you through a little bit more about, like, you know, what it actually resolves. So let's say you're an appointment setter. What the agency owner or coach or service provider is going to do is they're going to run ads, they're going to make content like this, and they're going to bring in leads. Now the leads are going to be interested, they're going to be warm, they're going to want to learn more. Maybe yourself, you might want to learn more about remote sales, right? So let's say you now went and, you know, message me, or you message someone that you're like, okay, I like this, I'm interested, let me message this person. So you message them, and then the appointment seller, all they do is they have a conversation. They find out where you're at, what you're doing, how you're doing, you know, what your goals are, what your future is, and then they go from there. You know, it's really not that difficult, especially the appointment setting, and they just take a percent when the sale comes. So if you don't like speaking to people, if you're, you know, maybe introverted, you don't want to hop on the calls, that's completely fine, because like I say, there's obviously that second path of a, you know, appointment setting, sending DMs on your phone. So then you have closing, sales closing. This is where the appointment is now booked. You are going to now go and close that call. Like I say, you turn up to the call, could be an hour, could be 30 minutes, and you just present the offer. Either they want the offer or they don't want the offer. That's as simple as it is. Now, yes, you have to learn some skills behind it. There's some sales techniques, sales training and stuff like that. Especially on my channel, there's a bunch of stuff you can go and learn. But like I say, these guys, Harvey quit his job in a couple of months. Catherine went from unemployed to 12K in a month in 3 months. This isn't hard to learn. The industry is so massive and it will always be needed. It's one of the biggest industries out there that you, like I say, you can get into. It's completely untapped. No one is doing it. And it's just the fact it is so simple to learn and so simple to do with the right knowledge and the right people around you. There's no skill that's better, right? People, like I say, are pushing copywriting, they're pushing agencies, services, whatever they're pushing. Either, like myself, it took me 3 years for my agency to become successful, right? That's how long it's going to take. And I spend thousands of dollars a month. You don't want to do that. You don't want to have to pay for ads. You don't want to have to make content. You don't want to have to deliver for leads. You don't want any of that. You want to turn up, either send DMs on your phone, take calls, and make money. And like I say, high ticket remote sales is the opportunity for that. That is the opportunity that is, you know, it's gonna take. I can't believe, and I wish when I started it was bigger than it was, and I wish I could have told myself when I started that, you know, this is what you should do, because I was technically I was selling on my own offer for my agency, and I became great at it, and it's how I can obviously teach people the exact same. I've ran over 200-300 sales teams right now. You know, I've cash collected well over 7 figures. I've closed, like I say, for my own offers, and I've helped setters, closers close on, you know, other offers, partner them with people and stuff like that. So I know what I'm talking about. I know this industry in and out. And I always say, you know, I just need more remote sales reps. Like, I need them. And this is why, like I say, any result that you see of mine, I just, like I say, posted a result for Riley. In 3 weeks, he didn't know what remote sales was. He saw a video of mine. He got started with us. 3 weeks later, he just made his first commission. So his first money online. And all he does is when a lead comes in, he calls them on his phone, says, hey, you know, see you opted in to this. I see you're interested in, he works for a dental company. I see you're interested in our dental package. You know, run me through your current situation. What are you doing? They run through the current situation. Riley goes, okay, cool. I think you'd be a good fit. I'm gonna book you in on a call. Let me know what time works best for you. They let him know. The call gets booked. Call gets closed, right? It's literally that simple. So yeah, I'm gonna say, I recommend checking out the rest of my channel. I recommend, you know, if you are already kind of interested, you can click the link down below to my website and you can see kind of more about what I do, what we do, and potentially even booking a call. Or, like I say, message me on Instagram. Any more questions, I'll personally get back to you. So yeah, that is the skill that ordinary people are using to make 2, 4, 5, 10K a month, and what you can do as well. So yeah, appreciate you guys watching. I look forward to seeing a lot of you become, you know, amazing sales reps. And yeah, see you guys soon. Peace.